Hey everybody, Chad here. It is semi-early on a Friday morning, but May's almost at the end, and even though my roses are not in bloom right now, at least most of them, they're in the in-between areas, between flowering and new growth and all that good stuff. I wanted to just give you an update for May for the garden. A few things have changed, a lot of things have filled out right here in front of us, and I'll have some videos very soon. It's hard to get good video of this because it's at night and awkward lighting and things, but these are evening primroses. They open at night. For some reason, 2 years ago when I first got these, they opened a lot quicker. And just once they open in like just a minute or so, maybe less. But now these are kind of in two-part phases. They pop open a little bit, and then they slowly pop open again about 15, 20, 30 minutes later sometimes. So doing a little different. I don't know if it's temperatures or that there's a floodlight near them. Anyway, some of these are some I got from, you've seen these before in previous video. All these are kind of back in flush. Those are Iceberg Roses down in the back. These are Forsythia, which I still haven't decided where I'm putting those, and still got our statues over here that I got to get painting, but been very busy with other stuff. So found these peach drift rose trees at Home Depot and bought a couple. I fried them, sitting them in my car. The next morning I got some stuff out and forgot to get them out, so they got a little fried on the edges, but they have recovered nicely and looking good. And I'm kind of debating once again what I'm going to do with these. I think I know now where to put them, but I had to think about that for a while. Here's our Japanese maple. Look at that lovely foliage. Just looks really good, kind of a purplish color right now. Moving over. Very soon, just a few more weeks, we are going to have flowers on these three Crepe Myrtles, and we have pink and purple, and those are part of my favorite thing in the summer, is when they go into bloom, and then hopefully it doesn't storm right after that and make them bend and break. But this is always a very, very pretty addition to the garden. All of our rose trees have been cut back. I have a video that I did of trimming those back. You can see the new growth on them. These are sunny knockouts, and they have that nice kind of citrusy smell. Pink knockouts here in the front. You can see what I meant when, if you watch my trimming video, trim some big branches, but look how thick that new growth is. It's going to be really tall, and I'll have to trim it again once it finishes. There's our fairies, and that is a peach drift right here in front of us also, and the one I like so much that got kind of damaged from a bad storm, but it's growing back nicely. You can see lots of new growth on that. Another sunny knockout. And our griffins. Now, the one thing I haven't been really happy with, and it might be my fault, I'm not sure yet, but coming in here to the archway, and you'll have to forgive me, I gotta trim these up again, but they've lost, these are Lavender Crush climbing roses. A lot of leaves have fallen off, and I think that was me spraying deer repellent on them at night, so I probably should not have done that and gave them some black spot and things like that. But they do have some clusters on the other side, but yes, definitely have to clean this up. Got some dead branches on it that need to be cleaned up. These flushes here are just kind of getting done, or getting close to being done. There's a few new ones on there. But I've been watering these things every day in the pots. Some people made some good suggestions last time about cutting the bottoms out of the pot, since the ground there is not deep with concrete up under it for this base of the walkway and the bricks, and cutting the bottom out of these and letting them grow down in the ground as far as they can go. But yeah, definitely lost a huge number of leaves, and I don't like to spray stuff if I can help it, because I don't want to kill all these butterflies and bees and all the good stuff that's out here. Drift roses. Coral drift has one big bunch that was left. Man, you can't beat coral drift as far as just big clusters of flowers. This is massive. Put my hand down here so you can see how big that is. And you can cut these off, put them in a vase if you want to, They'll last a long time. This right here is new growth. It's going to be coming up very shortly. Another big bunch of flowers. Carolina Jasmine's starting to do its growth after it flowered a few months ago. And look at here. Hydrangea. Just coming into bloom. It's got some blue. I put the stuff around it that's supposed to make everything blue, but as you can see, we get a combination of blue and pink, which I'm cool with that. It just looks pretty either way. Look at those blooms. This is just one that I got, you know, when Lowe's has a bunch of them in at the beginning of the season several years ago, and it is quadrupled in size at this point. Got some coneflowers coming up. Got this new little thing, which is a rain gauge, as well as a little, it lights up with some solar power and has a butterfly built into it. So like that, got that from Southern Landscaping. Now, Don Juan, you can't really tell looking at it, but it's got some new growth going out that way behind the hydrangea, which is really solid looking, so I'm happy with that. And then this white rose right here in the front, it's one of those combination white and red roses you can get from like Lowe's. And I've had it for a few years. It's only had 2 blooms on it the whole spring, so it's probably going to get removed, maybe replaced by those icebergs that are between flowering in the pots. This is another yellow climber rose that I showed earlier. It's no longer in bloom. It's about to do, hopefully get some new growth, but once again, it does this every year. It kind of gets a bunch of black spot, and once it gets hot outside, and it is very hot right now, it's going to be in the 90s for the foreseeable future. Behind those, though, all that green, that is Limelight Hydrangeas, but started off just about a foot tall little, just look like sticks, and now that's getting almost as tall as me. Our basket here with the cat's meow, and I thought that was going to be black-eyed Susans, but they're not. There's some little purple flowers, and who knows what I put in there last year that's come back. I've just kind of let this do this. And we had a bunch of black-eyed Susans here. Rabbit ate them all the way down to the ground, and I actually saw the rabbit a few days ago in here under the hydrangea bush. So both my dogs just completely ignored him and looked at it kind of curiously and was like, that's cool. So, got these impatiens, which are doing great. Several blooms at all times. And then we have, of course, the petunias. These are Bubblegum Super Petunia Vista from Proven Winners, and they are crazy. That's actually 2 containers, and I've posted some videos of what they look like, and also a video when I planted them. We've got our knockout roses, which are starting all their new growth, and they're about to be in bloom again, actually, a few of them. There's Molly the collie in the background back there. Here's the same yellow rose, which is doing much better than the other one. These yellow blooms just don't stay good very long. They kind of get nasty looking. But anyway, it's got a lot of new growth and is doing much better than the one I just showed you. Julie Andrews rose, look at this, just starting to bloom, and man, what a cluster for these. That's going to be awesome looking when they bloom. Another awesome amount of blooms going to be right there. Got some David Austin, all that stuff back there. John F. Kennedy's doing pretty bad. He doesn't do great. He's right there. Didn't do great last year once it got hot. These guys got quite a bit of new growth. The middle one's David Austin. This, I believe, is Montezuma is what it's called. Then our drift roses, lots of new growth on them. Trim those back pretty good, and they are ready to open up in just another few weeks, or maybe even less for some of them. All right, at this point, let's go around to the back. Isn't that a cool griffin? Kind of hidden a little bit with all the new growth there as well. And this was some trails we put up to block kind of the view of where the power line comes into the house. And that's some moonflowers and morning glories, and it looks like they're figuring out. I was wondering how I was going to attach them, but they just go in and out, in and out. So we'll see how that looks in a few more weeks. And here we have the backyard. Got all the mulch and stuff down for the pathways. You have to excuse any weird stuff. I think we have some kind of critters coming out here at night. But making a little bit of a mess. We also have a lot of squirrels, and we just recently had geese that showed up and have been eating all the bird seed that falls on the ground, just like the squirrels. There's our gorilla cart, which, man, that thing is very nice and good for so much stuff. Got the bird feeders, but look at this. This is the retaining wall flower bed, and we got a lot of stuff here to break down. We've got the Homestead purple verbena, and it is doing great. I've trimmed it back, and you can't even tell it's already filled back up. Matter of fact, it is going really crazy, and I feel very confident cutting those back, and almost like roses, just letting them rebloom. There's our Miss Molly butterfly bush, the purple one that's in bloom right now. And there's already been some butterflies on them, and bees and stuff like that, but butterflies will just get more and more as the weather warms up. Right back here is our New Dawn climbing rose, and I trimmed these back a little bit just on the tips where the dead flowers were, spent flowers, and they are starting to grow very quickly again. I will have a video very soon. It's a very simple video, just me putting down rose tone around them, fertilizing them, but very simple to do after they flower. That's pretty much all I do, and then keep them watered. Those are Suncredibles. They're just kind of getting going, getting a little taller and getting some size on them. They'll get quite a bit bigger than this as they keep growing. And got to move our fairy up there down to here now that we've got some sunflowers. I wanted them to get a little taller before I got her there so she didn't block them. Our dwarf butterfly bushes are getting blooms on them, but they're not open yet, so they're almost there. And then our sweet drifts are out of flower right now, but they're going to be coming back in flower soon, and they've got some nice new growth on them. All right, coming around the corner here, man, look at those Homestead verbena. Those are pretty. Now we just got to get these pink roses to open up. Our Gulfstream Nandinas are doing well. Look at those sunflowers. They've opened up in the last day or so and got a bee going crazy. Now here we have our bubblegum Super Tunia Vistas in this area right in front of these peach drift roses. So we have sweet drift we just looked at. These are peach drift, and got several just lining the wall. And next year I may not even need anything in the front to add some color because they're going to be a lot bigger. And got our mop heads over here. You can see they're putting on some new growth and kind of getting a little more height on them. We've got here our Abelias. Lots of new growth. I think I'm going to cut those so they can keep growing thicker before they start getting too tall. Our double played doozy Spirea doing very well as well. Got our evergreen right there. And finally, the white wedding hydrangeas are starting to grow a little bit more. So I was really getting nervous about those. Here's our Suncredible. Said I'll fertilize these soon. You don't have to deadhead them, but you can if you want to. What is that? A weed. Ugh, weeds. Come out of there. That's right. All the way. My goodness. Yeah, you thought you were going to do that, weed. I don't think so. Ha. Adios. This one just starting to grow. It's a few weeks behind its brother or sister on the other side. We have some Lantana, and put 4 of those right here. And then over here, we're still doing stuff. I said this is why I can't get anything done. But I have this rock, which I'm going to figure out where it's going to go. Got to put this tub up on blocks. I put the feet on it. That's going to be a whole video of planting this. This is an old wrought iron clawfoot tub. We've got our new bird stand, which will be another video soon of me setting that up. We replaced the shepherd's hook and really enjoying that. We have also these rows of Sharons, but they got demolished by some rabbits also. But they're actually still getting ready to flower, so that's exciting. These are doing great, filling out nicely. And look at this. The gardenias are in bloom, and boy, do they smell good. I trimmed this one back a couple years ago, and it responded nicely to that. Wish you guys could smell these. They are so fragrant. And the wall of star jasmine over there is just finishing up, so that smell lingers just a little now. Here's our shade area, and our St. John's worts doing great. Little patches of this grass stuff that I planted, don't remember the name off the top of my head, but it's kind of getting a little spent, but it should be rebound. And then we've got our creeping Jenny, which is doing its thing, creeping. This really hot weather the last few days has kind of made this stuff kind of droopy a little bit. It's got to adjust to that, because we do get a little bit of afternoon hot sun for just a short amount of time here, and it's very hot. This little area here where I just kind of plant the rejects or relocation. These lentil roses, they're going to they're kind of spent now and getting towards being done. And then you've got these coral bells, which are still looking awesome colors. Like those. You see our David Austin rose and our French Painter series rose. They're both between blooms, but look at this. When we talk about a basil break, this is what we mean. When I trimmed this last time, a few weeks ago, this entire thing right here was just way down here, new growth. Look how thick it is all the way up. This is what you love to see if you grow roses. And then up here, look at all those blooms getting ready to go. Wow. It's probably gonna make the whole thing droop, so I'm gonna cut them off as soon as they bloom to put them inside and have a nice display in a vase. But my goodness, that is some amazing new growth on that. And then last but not least, very quickly, some of the containers. We've got this creeping Jenny with our statue in it, and she's doing really good. Gus, got an itch there, Gus. We've got our containers here with Proven Winners Supertunias and some Supertunia Vistas. They're starting to kind of hang over. This one here is really hanging over. I'm gonna have to adjust that or something. Got our lavender here in this bucket, which isn't doing anything yet as far as blooms. This one, super bells and creeping Jenny in the bottom. Got some more dwarf butterfly bushes in containers to match this one. Oh, it's blooming, yay! This is the one we've had here since last year, doing great, and look at that. Awesome, I can't wait for that to fill out all the way. And then all these, that's a nice color. Purple, and then the other two are pink. Which got right here, excuse the towels. Had the kids out in the water a lot with this hot weather. And then our hanging baskets. They're doing great. Been watering these every day, automatic. I can just sit out here and because I'm using those bubblers, it does it in just a few minutes. It does not take long at all. It's the other hanging basket. These are all Supertunia Vistas, mostly from Proven Winners. These here, Supertunias and Petite Knockout Roses. So they've, you can see this is growing through the rose. These things have really taken off. I'm gonna have to trim that back when I clean up the baskets. Same thing on this side. So we've got the hanging basket, pulling that hook over it so heavy. And then we've got another one of these. Last hanging basket right there. Like I said, they're all doing really well. Today's actually fertilizing day, so I'll be doing that later on. That takes a little while longer. But there you go. I said the porch is in mostly full bloom once these butterfly bushes get going. Really nice and really happy with how all that turned out. Well, that's pretty much it. I got to run into town real quick to pick up some groceries, so I don't have long to do this. But if you enjoyed this video, click the like button, hit subscribe, share with your friends, and we'll have another update in a few weeks when the roses and all are back in bloom, and let you see what everything is looking like and what new stuff we've got done. Y'all take care. Bye-bye. Oh yeah, that's nice. As I finish up this video, I'll go to head out, and it's raining. Man, I hope it rains decent. Oh, now it's slacking off already, just sprinkled. I really hope it rains pretty good, even though doesn't seem to be calling for it. But look at that hydrangea. That's pretty right there, I tell you what. I don't care who you are.